What is going on, guys? We have more bowling ball announcements. We just got back from a Memorial Day tournament in Michigan, and then Brunswick decides to drop 5 new bowling balls for us. So we're going to be looking through all 5 of those bowling balls, what you should expect from them. We're going to be the first ones on the internet to tell you about these bowling balls. So make sure to watch the entire way to watch the 5 bowling balls. There are some interesting ones in here, some that I'm very hesitant on, some that actually look pretty sweet. So if you haven't, make sure to subscribe, helps me out a ton. Then you can stay notified for the newest bowling ball announcements to try to see if these bowling balls fit your game or if it's one that you can pass over. Remember, everything here is completely unbiased. I have 0 deals with any bowling ball companies, any bowling ball brands, so these are as unbiased as it can get. But let's get right into the video. First thing first, we have one new Brunswick ball, and that is this, the Ethos Solid. It has the same colorway or nearly the same colorway as the Teal Rhino Pro. No correlation in reaction in any way, shape, or form, just the same colorway at the end of the day. But what it is basically what the name suggests. It's an Ethos that has a solid cover stock. So I did a little bit of research on this guy, same exact everything. It has the same exact cover stock as what we had on the Ethos Hybrid and the original. However, this one's just solid. So that is the SH 4.0 Solid. That actually stands for Savvy Hook. Ironically, this is the same exact cover stock that they used on an old Knockout Bruiser. I don't know if there's any connection of like updates to the cover stock because that Bruiser is a couple years old at this point. So kind of interesting that they're bringing an old cover stock back on a ball that was not like loved by any means, but it wasn't really hated. It was just kind of unknown. A lot of those knockouts were kind of skipped over at the end of the day. But really, not much to say on this one. Super, super strong core. This is going to be very similar to the Hazmat core, very similar to the GB5 core, very similar to the Hammerhead core. This is going to be, honestly, I think this is going to be insanely close to the stealth mode now that I look at the numbers. 248053. Let's check it out real time. Track stealth mode has, drum roll please, 248056. So a little bit more, oh, that's a sneak peek. A little bit more of a differential on the stealth mode compared to this Ethos Solid. So this is going to definitely be a medium and smooth bowling ball. Unfortunately, it's going to kind of fall in that grouping of really, really good bowling balls. So the Ethos Solid is really going to have a big hit to be able to take over the crown from the GB5 and the stealth mode and even the Hammerhead. The Hammerhead is phenomenal right now. Highly recommend that ball, by the way. It looks great so far. So the Ethos Solid has a lot to make up for, but at the end of the day, let's go down to these, the performance index don't matter. There's nothing there. But at the end of the day, the Ethos series is pretty well liked. The original was really good. The hybrid was pretty good. And now we have a solid, so hopes are very, very high for this one. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be the same exact price as what we had for the original Ethos. So if we look up the Ethos without putting a 3 in the name, we are at $170 is what we should expect for this Ethos Solid, unless they bump the prices up due to tariffs. Now, I don't know what that's going to be. Unfortunately, no website on the internet actually has the prices for these bowling balls yet, so hopefully more to come. Hopefully I have a pinned comment of what these prices will be. That is bowling ball number 1. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. This one's going to have a really high bar to hit to be able to be sold, to be able to be a big hitter in the game. Now, speaking of hitters, we're going to jump over to Radical. Now, apologies, this is going to be bright because they still use this yellow text. Someone at Radical, please, can we change this yellow background just for us looking at it? It hurts the eyes a little bit. But we have the Power Hitter. The Hitter series is back. We had the Hitter Pearl discontinued about 3-ish months ago at this point, and now we have the Power Hitter. What is it? It's a hybrid hitter. That's it. Nothing too crazy here. Hitter lineup has been a staple for Radical. That's a bold statement. Staple in the Radical line? Not really. There's only been 2 of them. But it is offering a highly usable and controllable asim ball motion. That is very, very true at the end of the day. The Hitter series is one of Radical's best series in the last couple of years because it is that more mild asymmetrical look. Radical's really good at making absurdly strong bowling balls that need to be used on heavy oil. And that's really what they do. The weak stuff, they don't really do that great. The medium stuff, they really never have medium tier equipment minus the Intel series, which people really want. But this Power Hitter, the Hitter series really hit a good spot in their lineup, and a spot that isn't really hit that often. This is kind of like Origin EX level core. Where, well, actually not really. That's more of a weak cover stock. This cover stock's pretty strong, kind of like a flip-flop of the Origin EX, where this is a weaker core, stronger cover stock. But let's get into those numbers quick. We have a 249 RG, 053 differential, 015 intermediate differential. This always has a stronger core than I thought. This is actually a pretty middle of the road / slightly stronger ASIM core. So that is kind of interesting that it is such a strong core, but it does act a lot more mild, a lot weaker. This does have HK22C textured hybrid on it. Now, that is interesting because this is the hybrid version of the cover stock that is on the Snapshot, and that is on the original Torpedo, not the plastic one. So the Torpedo and the Snapshot have this same cover stock, except this one is hybrid, the others are Pearl. So it's going to be a slightly stronger cover stock, kind of more middle in the road. I thought it was pretty weak on the Snapshot, and even that original Torpedo actually is a bit more skid snappy than people thought it would be. So this one really fits in an interesting part of their lineup. Do they have a line for this? They do not have a ball chart, unfortunately, so I can't really see where they want this bowling ball. Unfortunately, Brunswick does not actually post where they expect this bowling ball to fit, which is why they don't have a core and cover chart. Very unfortunate. So hopefully there's some kind of advertising that goes out to say, is this ball going to be, where is it going to be compared to the Torpedo? Where's it going to be compared to the No Doubt? Things like that. I expect this bowling ball to really fit as a strong and sharp ball, but as a much smoother one. Kind of like a shiny Attention Star S2 is what I'm hoping this ball is going to be. Now, there's a lot of good ASIMs on the Brunswick lineup right now, a lot of older good ASIMs that are still in the line, so this one's going to have to make a big splash to be able to stand a chance. Radical hasn't had stuff that really has stood a chance over the last couple of months. Their stuff hasn't been purchased as much as, say, Hammer or, say, even a lot of Brunswick stuff. So hopefully this is a good step in the right direction for them. The colorway does look pretty good. This blue and orange looks pretty decent. The name is great. So hopefully that helps get them going in the right direction. Hitters are always going to be a good one. Now, let's move on quick before, well, let's get the price. Unfortunately, the hitters are discontinued, so I don't think we'll find a price. Yeah, it looks like 170 is what they were originally. Now they're $88. That's kind of crazy. If you want a hitter Pearl, go to Buddy's Pro Shop. Not sponsored, but I mean, that's an awesome price. But $170 it looks like for the hitter, so that's actually pretty weak for a ball that's going to be fairly strong. Might be a good one to look at. Next, let's go to the new Zen Solid. I mean the No Doubt Solid. So the No Doubt Solid is super symmetrical core, which is very similar core to the Zen series, like nearly same shape and everything. There's always some controversy on that, but this is just a solid version of that No Doubt. Nothing too crazy on it. If we look at the specs, it has that 249 RG 051 differential. Then it has HK22C plus solid on it. This one, if we check, so what I've been doing, which is kind of good, which has been my favorite place, is a little tip for you guys, bowl.com with 3 W's. Highly recommend. They have an incredible bowling ball database that you can use. So we're looking up HK22 C plus solid. So actually, this is the one that's going to be a Pearl or a solid version of the Snapshot and the Torpedo. So this is going to be a solid version of what's on that Snapshot and Torpedo. So nothing too crazy strong. So I messed it up on the last one. Apologies. Let me go back to the power hitter quick. This one has HK22C textured. We look at that, HK22C textured. And that is just the power hitter. So apologies, the power hitter is its own brand new cover stock. The No Doubt Solid, however, is the solid version of the Snapshot and the Torpedo. My bad on that. So this one's going to have a moderate-ish cover stock on it, which is kind of interesting because if we look at the original No Doubt, that one has not been discontinued quite yet. However, I'm a little worried for it now because Radical doesn't like to keep many balls in their line. That just has HK22 plus Pearl. This has HK22C plus solid. So this one just has HK22C instead of HK22. Probably not going to notice much of a difference. I have a feeling this one actually comes polished. This is a shiny solid. I have a feeling this is going to be extremely, extremely close to that original No Doubt. Very odd choice now that we look at it a little bit further. So if you like the No Doubt and you want something to be a little bit earlier, a little bit smoother, check out the No Doubt Solid. This isn't going to be like a normal solid though. This is going to be weaker. This is going to be like what the special effect is as an ASIM. It's a weaker cover stock that's going to get a little further down lane than most other solids. So shiny solids are always great, but this might be a little too close to that No Doubt because that No Doubt is really smooth and early at the end of the day. So very, very interesting choice on this one. I love the colorway. The no doubt seems to be pretty decent so far for a lot of people. Like I said, a little bit earlier than most expected. So I'll be curious where this no doubt solid fits and if people end up hitting it with surface or not, since it comes polished. That's going to be really interesting to see. But we got to keep moving. We have 2 more bowling balls that we need to hit. We've knocked out 3 bowling balls. We are on this Columbia 300 Super Cuda Powercore Pearl. It is just a pearl version of the Super Cuda Powercore. I feel like we had one of these already, but I couldn't find one. So if we look up Super Cuda Powercore, we do just have the Super Cuda Powercore as the solid. This one, did we have past Cudas? When was the last Cuda? We had the Cuda Powercore Pearl. Sorry. That is interesting. HK22 ERT Pearl. So this is a new Pearl Cuda. This one has a different cover stock, though. It has the Formula 1 Pearl cover stock, which is a little bit better because if we look up Formula 1 cover stock, that is the same cover stock that's been used on a lot of good Columbia 300 balls, especially the Speed Series. So the Speed Series really likes this cover stock. It's going to be virtually, they don't actually have it on here. That's kind of interesting. It's going to be virtually the same thing as the Rally, except it's going to be the Pearl version. So it's HK22C Formula 1 Pearl. So nothing too crazy. If you like the Rally, you're probably going to like this new Super Cuda Powercore Pearl. Let's go back to looking at it a little bit. Same exact colorway as the old Ebonite Fireball with that orange and red. I have low expectations for this one, in all honesty, because I'm not a fan of a lot of these throwback series. They're usually just very mid. None of them have really wowed anybody. The Piranha Powercore Pearl wasn't too bad. This one hopefully is similar, but the specs are very, very similar to that Piranha Powercore. If we look at that ball, let's find the Piranha Powercore Pearl. This one has 251055. And the Super Cuda has 250047. So the Super Cuda should be a little bit weaker. However, that cover stock sounds a little bit stronger. So that's going to be the main comparison. If you like the Piranha Powercore Pearl, don't get this ball. It's going to be very similar. It'll be interesting to see what the comparisons are between the two, because I feel like they're going to be very close. This is totally going to be a medium and sharp bowling ball at the end of the day. Very much medium and sharp ball. But what is it going to do compared to those other medium and sharp balls? We have a lot of them in the Brunswick lineup right now. So where is this one really going to kick in compared to the others? So that's going to be the most interesting piece of all of it. Where does this one fit? Again, I'm personally not a fan of the throwback series, the Cudas, the Piranhas, all of those from Columbia 300. Hopefully this gets them back on track with the last couple of releases. It's luckily not another remake. However, there was a Cuda Powercore Pearl. So bold strategy, Cotton, to come out with the Cuda and then now the Super Cuda. Maybe we'll get an Ultra Cuda next. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But looking at the price of this guy, if we look up the original Super Cuda, so buddies, please, there we go. Super Cuda Powercore is $160. This is going to be a $160 bowling ball. Not a bad price at the end of the day for a ball of this caliber. For a ball, it's going to be medium sharp. It's about the same as the rest of the balls we've looked at so far. Also, I should go back. We didn't talk about the no doubt price. We look at the no doubt price. We are at $170 also. So most of these balls are going to be $170. Awesome. Finally, this is the ball that everyone should be hyped about. This is the most hyped ball of their release. We have a new Paragon. The Paragon Shadow is coming out soon. This is a really, really exciting announcement, in my opinion. This is definitely the ball of the month for Brunswick. This is going to be the ball to look out for. So this is redefining performance in the Track Paragon line, bringing back the Paragon after a long time. It goes through same exact core, except it has QR12 hybrid cover stock on it. We're going to get into what that is in just a second, but we do have a new Paragon. For anyone who didn't know, the Paragon series was one of Track's best asymmetrical, like strong and smooth series. They had the Paragon, the Paradox. They now have the Criterion. The Criterion is really just like a baby of the Paragon and Paradox, but we're bringing the Paragon right back, which is kind of interesting. We have a lot of ASIMs, a lot of smoother ASIMs from Track right now, but looking at it, 249 RG, 056 differential, 015 ASIM intermediate differential, really strong core on this guy, and it has QR12 hybrid cover stock on it. If we go to our favorite place, we look up QR12, That is the same exact cover stock that is on the Criterion. Same exact cover stock, just the hybrid version. Is this a better Criterion hybrid than the actual Criterion hybrid? Something to ask, because I do have the Criterion hybrid up here. This has that super response hybrid cover stock, but it has the same Criterion core. This one's very skid snappy. This one's not going to be. This one actually comes out of the box dull. This one is going to be a strong and smooth bowling ball that is probably going to be a step down from the Criterion. Now, the core is a bit stronger than the Criterion, so it's going to be a stronger core, weaker cover. So it's going to be interesting to see where this one lines up. I don't believe Track does any special ball charts, if I remember right. Nope, they do not, unfortunately. Brunswick, please start making ball charts. It's really appreciated. Deviate does amazing on that. I'd love to see it from the other companies. But this one should be really, really cool. Very, very excited about this bowling ball. Big, strong ASIM. If you like your old Paragon series, I'd recommend checking this one out. If you didn't pick up a Criterion. Do you need this and an OG Criterion? No. Do you need this and a Criterion hybrid? Yes, those two could work together because that Criterion hybrid wants to be a lot longer and a lot sharper. So very interesting. We have no idea what the price is going to be on this guy. I'm assuming it's going to be $190 because that's what the Criterion was. So that one's going to be very exciting. But with that, that is 5 brand new Brunswick bowling balls that are being released on June 12th. So we have about 2 to 3-ish weeks before these balls actually get released. Let me know down below in the comments what you think of these bowling balls. What are you excited about? What are you not excited about on these? This is a pretty okay release from Brunswick. This is going to be one of their better ones for 2025 just off of first vibe checks. So I'm really excited for this Paragon. I think the Ethos Solid could be good, and I think this No Doubt Solid could be interesting. However, we're going to see, hopefully there's a couple more ball reviews compared to just the typical staffers who do them this time around. That's been one of the biggest negatives right now, is there are not enough ball reviews for Brunswick equipment, and all of them are from people who say that this ball is the greatest thing ever created. So hopefully we get a couple more coming soon, but otherwise make sure to stay tuned to the channel. We are going to have full previews and reviews of these bowling balls coming before release, so make sure to follow, make sure to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for being here, being able to watch the video, and I will see you on the next one.